Would you like your Chroma to do this? Then stick around, because in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to do it, including 2 different builds. Before we start, I want to be clear about something. These are my personal builds. I'm not claiming they're the most efficient or the absolute best way to play Chroma. Everything I say here is based on my own experience and opinion, and nothing is meant to be taken as definitive. This is simply how I play this Warframe and what feels comfortable to me. Let's start with the basics. Who is Chroma and where do you farm him? Chroma is the famous dragon Warframe, or at least the closest thing we have to one. He used to be much more popular years ago, but even today he's still a very solid option. Let's go over his abilities. His first ability is Spectral Scream, which honestly isn't very important. It's usually the helping slot, but I'm still mentioning it because it's part of his kit. It let us swap elements and breathe elemental damage in a cone in front of us, dealing the damage type we've selected, and overall it's pretty underwhelming. His second ability is Elemental Ward. Depending on the selected element, it provides a different effect. In both of these builds we're going to use Cold, because Cold status is extremely strong right now due to its passive, and it also will grant us bonus armor. The third ability is where the real magic happens, Vex Armor. When our shields are depleted or we get melee kills, we gain bonus armor. And when we lose health or we get kills with non-melee weapons, we gain bonus damage. Headshot kills also grant an additional bonus and charge the ability faster. And the fourth ability is Effigy. It isn't very important, and the only real use you can give to this skill is credit farming, because of the credit booster it has. But to be honest, we won't be using it in either of the builds we're going to see today, so I'm just gonna skip it. As for farming him, it's fairly straightforward. You only need to complete the junk gems requirements and then finish the quest The New Strange. Even if it requires to some additional Warframe parts, it's still very easy to get compared to other Warframes. Before moving on to the builds, it's important to clarify that Chroma is what we know as a weapon platform. This means his abilities exist almost exclusively to enhance our weapons. You can use whatever weapons you like with him. The ones that I show here are simply my personal choices. We have 2 builds for today, one that is focused on landing headshots and the one that is not. We'll be focusing first on the one that is not headshot focused. This build will use Combat Discipline, since the setup is not focused on landing headshots, and I find this aura much more comfortable to use, because we can just throw the melee and we'll charge the Fury anyway. We're going to stack as much ability strength and ability duration as possible, along with the Augment Guardian Armor, which allows us to survive thanks to our squadmates. It's important to note that this build is not designed for solo play, as survivability can be more difficult on your own. For Arcanes, I'm using Arcane Avenger because of its synergy with Combat Discipline and Multi-Augmented to reach the highest possible ability strength. For Archon Shards, I'm using 3 red ability strength shards and 2 blue health shards, but you can absolutely adjust that to your preference and just change them to whatever you feel comfortable with. On the first ability slot, we're using a Helmet ability, specifically Bright Bonnet from Noko. I'll explain the reasoning in more depth later, but the short version is that it gives us an additional conditional 200 ability strength. In this specific setup, I'll show you how I use it with the Kestrel Prime and the Rauta to quickly build combo count. One thing that is mandatory, however, is the Grimoire. As you can see, it doesn't need an optimized build at all. The important part is that it has the Bome invocation, which gives us 60% ability strength when activated. In case you are interested in this specific setup, the Rauta build itself isn't particularly important, since it doesn't do any real damage, and it's more important to get more pellets on one shot than actually doing any damage. The Kestrel Prime, on the other hand, is very important if you plan on using it, and this is the build I recommend for it. As for companions, you can use almost any of them. What really matters is that they can trigger the mod Tenacious Bond. Beast companions can do this very easily, since claw weapons can use Bite, which activates it very easily. You can use any Kubro you like, or even an Adarsa Kabat for extra critical chance. Now let's move on to the second major part of the build. We're going to need an Argon equipped with primary dexterity and secondary dexterity arcanes to get additional combo duration. This is only if we plan on use any glaive or the Kestrel Prime, And most importantly, we're going to need the Arbiceps. This Argan has a special interaction with Bright Bonnet. Just like Noko's fourth ability buffs his own mushrooms, Bright Bonnet also gets this buff from the Arbiceps when you shoot at it. As a result, instead of granting only 100% of additional ability strength, it grants us 200% of additional strength on a helmet. That's a lot of strength for a helmet. If you don't want to use this ability because the synergy can be quite expensive, and I know that, you can instead subsume Wrathful Advance from Kullervo. I personally haven't tested this option myself because I refuse to fit my Kullervo to the helmet, but I think it will work just fine. All of these paired with the Madrake Focus Cool for that extra strength from the sling, and the build is basically complete, but there's one important detail. Vex armor has a bug. Conditional ability strength does not properly update if the ability is already active. This means that every time we want to get the maximum benefit from the build, or from this specific skill, we need to deactivate Vex armor and then re-escalate it after stacking our strength again. Taking all of the loadout into account, the optimal sequence to reach maximum ability strength is as follows. Assuming we already reached 250 kills of Molt Augmented, we exit into the operator mode and get the sling strength bonus. Then we go and hit enemies with the Grimoire's alternative fire until we gain the 60% strength bonus of the bomb incantation. After that, we just use Bright Bonnet and fire the Arbiceps, and only then we activate the Vex armor and start sculling it. This might sound a bit messy, and honestly it kind of is, but if you break it down into steps, it's not that hard. In practice, you'll almost never need the absolute maximum possible strength anyway. That said, if you add other sources like the strength bonus from opening a relic or Tenshin's Grey Aura, you can reach some truly absurd fury values, and not even to start mentioning the armor values. It gets to some really crazy numbers. The second build is a bit simpler. We swap Arcane Avenger for Arcane Crepuscular, change the aura to Growing Power, and replace the helmet ability with Evade from Site 09. In the example video, I'm using the Badaria Prime, which is a sniper, but once again, you can use whatever weapon you're most comfortable with. Just keep in mind that this build is more focused on a solo playstyle and landing headshots. With headshots, not only do we build Fury faster, but we also extend our invisibility duration and heal ourselves. Other than that, there aren't many changes between this build and the other one. To wrap up the video, I'll show the fashion frame setups I made for Chroma. I have many more fashion videos on my TikTok account, so if that interests you, feel free to check it out. The link is in the video description. Before I go, I just want to apologize for my broken English. I know it's not perfect and I'm still working on it, so I'll be adding subtitles in case anything wasn't clear. Also, let me know in the comments if you like the style and the editing of the video, or if you'd rather see longer, more in-depth videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful.